No one knows exactly when or where St. John was born, though based on his writing it is assumed he was well educated. At the age of 16, he entered the monastery of Mount Sinai, which was built over a chapel founded by St. Helen and later named for St. Catherine, at the foot of Mount Sinai where Moses received the Ten Commandments. He was a pious, diligent ascetic who submitted himself to his spiritual elder Martyrius. On the day he was tonsured a monk, a fellow monk predicted he would, quote, become one of the great lights of the world, unquote. St. John's fame grew, and pilgrims flocked to learn from him, being drawn to his serenity and wisdom. The abbot of a nearby monastery asked the saint to write a book of instruction for young monks. So St. John wrote the Ladder of Divine Ascent, one of the most influential works of Orthodox spirituality. St. John reposed peacefully at the age of 86. This is John Climacus. He was a monastic and a writer. Here's some fascinating facts. On the day St. John became the abbot of the monastery of Mount Sinai, a mysterious figure robed in a tunic was seen giving directions to servants and cooks preparing the feast. He was later revealed to be the holy prophet Moses himself. Wow, Moses pulled up. According to tradition, some fellow monks, jealous of the saint's influence, accused him of being a conceited chatterbox. The saint, though his conscience was clear, did not speak or teach for 1 year so as not to offend his weaker brothers. St. John the Ladder's Divine Ascent has been widely read and influential for centuries. It was one of the very first books published in the Americas, printed in Spanish in 1532. He was one of the early proponents of hesychasm, the practice of constant prayer before God, made perfect by the Jesus prayer. Lord Jesus Christ, Son of God, have mercy on me, a sinner. In St. John's Ladder of Divine Ascent, each rung of the ladder represents a spiritual practice or virtue that brings a person closer to God. The final, most difficult and most important step is love. St. John always kept a notebook with him so that he could write down his insights and observations. Very cool. We celebrate him on March 30th and also the 4th Sunday of Lent. So I figured during the Lent season it would be fun to read about him. If you've not heard the Ladder of the Divine Ascent, I feel like I listened to an audiobook of it, and it's very interesting. So here's a picture. Here's their illustration of him, and then the icon. Once again, this is your Orthodox friend, Amelia Fisher, and I'm sharing with you 101 Orthodox Saints. Tune in next time.